other games tomorrow. Rutgers, Ohio State. Ohio State has a couple of guys out. I think Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate may not play.
Yeah, Smith was hobbling last week. I don't know I would have played him last week. I think he was struggling.
I don't think they're going to play him this week.
I don't think so either.
Rutgers has had 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, after that incredible rally against South Carolina, has Samford.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to the SEC. Next to last week of the season, you're playing Samford, who's 1-10, by the way. Missouri, Oklahoma should be a really good game. That game's in Norman. Miami, Virginia Tech is in Blacksburg. Charlotte, Georgia. Now, I'll say this. Charlotte may be 1-9, but Charlotte is at least an FBS team. Okay? And, of course, Georgia had a great win last week over Texas. Alabama, after they lost to Oklahoma last week, gets Eastern Illinois tomorrow. You have to be kidding me. But, again, what will game day do? The consciousness of college football. They'll laugh it off. See, I don't laugh this stuff off. I mean, say Penn State were in the thick of this. Just say they were in the thick of this like they were last year. Penn State would be playing Nebraska. You're playing Eastern Illinois?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're telling me that's right? Now, next year they'll go to 9 conference games. The SEC finally. I think that will help eliminate something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. Yeah, and then
you can play 2 non-cons early. Plus, you know how the SEC spreads their schedule out. Where it looks like there's a big SEC game every week. I give them credit for that. That's smart. Syracuse, Notre Dame would have been for Steve Angeli. This would have been incredible to go back to Notre Dame, but after a 3-0 start, he got hurt in Game 4, and then they haven't won a game since. Kentucky, Vanderbilt. I'll say this: Stoops' team is 5-5. Right, don't have a lot of offense. Vanderbilt's trying to keep themselves in the college football playoff hunt. They're 8-2, and the entire point of what they're trying to do, if they can win this game, it sets up the game with Tennessee next week. Texas, Arkansas, it's a struggle for them. Tulane, Temple, that's down in Philadelphia at the Link, by the way. And Tulane right now would be the team that is designated based on ranking to be in the college football playoff. Kansas State, Utah. You know how much I like Utah. I think Kyle Whittingham does a great job.
Phenomenal coach,
Kansas State's kind of been up and down this year. Michigan at Maryland. Michigan, in all likelihood, will win the game. They will then turn the Ohio State-Michigan game into the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we will then have to endure that for another week and have to listen to all the mumbo-jumbo surrounding that game.
And part of it is because, part of it's always going to be Michigan-Ohio State. The rivalry is there. But the other part of it is Michigan's only got 1 loss in the Big Ten right now. They beat Ohio State.
Right. No, well, exactly.
Suddenly, that's
right.
a huge.
The one loss is to USC.
USC, yep.
Pitt, Georgia Tech, that is down in Atlanta. Pitt's coming off that loss to Notre Dame. It kind of played out exactly the way I thought it would. I thought Notre Dame would win the game big. They did. Got to the lead, never looked back. Tennessee, Florida. This is actually going to be a much tougher game for Tennessee than I think people realize. Florida may be 3-7, but they seem to be playing everybody tough. And the game is in Gainesville. Tennessee's out of it. They're 7-3, so they're out of it. That's the interesting part. If Vanderbilt wins that game next week with Tennessee, it's Vanderbilt that will have the stakes and not Tennessee.
Absolutely.
Illinois, Wisconsin. Give Wisconsin credit. They won last week. I mean, a lot of credit. And they committed to Luke Fickell. They went out, won. BYU, Cincinnati. This should be a really good game. BYU's 9-1. Cincinnati's 7-3. It's at Nippert. They're playing there. That's the game on Fox tomorrow night. The Tennessee-Florida game's the ABC game tomorrow, and the Pitt-Georgia Tech game's the ESPN game tomorrow night. Arizona State, Colorado. That game's in Boulder. Arizona State's 7-3. saying you skipped one. No, I saved this one for last, and that is USC Oregon. USC and Oregon. This is the 3:30 game on CBS tomorrow. And an area where USC has struggled a bit is they have struggled a bit when they play on the road. Now, to their credit, they went on the road and they beat Nebraska. And I think Nebraska has played, this will be, the Iowa game is going to be where?
That I think is in
That's in Lincoln.
Lincoln,
right?
I believe. Yeah,
It's
that's
in
a
Lincoln on
Friday
Friday.
game. Yep.
I think that for the most, I think they've only, this is only
That's in Lincoln.
this is only their fourth road game of the year tomorrow, Nebraska. They had the one neutral game with Cincinnati, but that was at Arrowhead. Let's see, Lincoln to Kansas City, Kansas City to Lincoln. Okay, all right. And
Yeah, so they only had what? UCLA, Maryland, Minnesota.
So Latif, in other words, Latif had a road start.
Yeah, at
Right?
UCLA. Yep.
UCLA, except half the crowd, if not more than half the crowd, were Nebraska fans. That's not
Absolutely.
happening here tomorrow.
No, not at all.
Okay. So we'll see how he handles the line of scrimmage. Right, but USC went into Lincoln and won. That was big. Mayava has had a really good year. I mean, you look at what he's. I mean, I'm impressed when I watch USC play. But this is the part that impresses me. Lincoln Riley, for whatever reason last year, and you're watching Houston last night, the Texans play the Bills, and you saw how Woody Marks was running. Right? I mean, he actually did more than Nick Chubb last night for Houston. Well, Woody Marks last year played for USC, and Jack and I are looking at each other like, this guy is a really good running back. And they didn't use him. I mean, we're watching the game play out, and he break off a run, and he break off a run. But they decided they just want to throw the ball. And I had said in the off season when I was on some show, somebody brought up USC to me, and I said, look, Lincoln Riley needs to get back to his roots because when he was at Oklahoma, their ability to run the ball was just as effective as their ability to pass the ball. I said one fed off the other, and I said I think he got away from it. Well, now they got Miller. And Miller is averaging better than 7 yards a carry. He's got 719 yards rushing this year on 99 carries. Lemon is having a great year for USC at wide receiver. He's got 71 catches for 1,090 yards. On defense, I don't want to downplay at all the impact of this guy, Eric Gentry. When Eric Gentry went out of the lineup last year for USC, it really put Danton Lynn, the defensive coordinator, at a disadvantage. They've got Gentry back this year, and it's made a big difference for them defensively because he is their best defensive player.
No doubt. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Now, Whittington's having a big year running the ball for Oregon. Remember, and again, same story with him. I mean, he's up 6, almost 7 yards a carry himself. Broke off the big run against Minnesota. They're going to Decorium Moore is going to be back in the lineup, which really helps Dante Moore. And I think this is going to be a great matchup between the two at 3:30. The old Pac-12 matchup, head-to-head at Autzen. Yeah, I think that's going to be a really good matchup. And then the other Big Ten games, Minnesota's at Northwestern. Michigan State is at Iowa. And Washington will be at UCLA. That's you want to fight late game. Okay, this is now, when you're going to do a game at 10:30 at night, that's the game you put on 10:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
Because Washington and UCLA, to them, it's both 7:30.
Exactly.
Right? And in their markets, the game is on at 7:30. Sure. That's the game you put on at 10:30 at night. Not the Michigan State game where all of a sudden it's like 2:30 in the morning. People are like, trying to hang on in Michigan, trying to watch that game. And stuff like that. Stuff like that makes no sense. So yeah, that's the lineup of games.
Curious to see if USC can get off to a strong start. I think that is the one thing that has they have let teams hang around pretty much all year. In some cases, it's hurt them. In some cases, they've pulled it out, like Iowa last week. But I think there's a lot about them that I like. There's a lot about them that is still a question mark. And they're a team that really could be very much in the thick of the playoffs. I think the loss to Notre Dame is one where I look back, that was a very winnable game. And let it slip away at the end, didn't start well. And it's kind of been the story of USC much of this year. It's how do you start, how do you finish? And that's, I think, going to be critical tomorrow on the road.
Yeah, no question. Especially again, look, the Autzen Stadium crowd. Now, I've never been to Autzen, so I won't get there for, 2 years?
Yeah, I think it's the following year.
Yeah, 2 years. And everybody tells me the way it's built with the overhang and everything like that. And Washington's the same way. They have an overhang. It helps keep the noise in. I mean, it may be 60,000, but it's a loud 60,000. So that's the way that goes there.
Same for them with the 3:30 the 3:30 kick in terms of USC Oregon. You're going to have afternoon kick. I think go over the next loss for USC. I think the loss to Illinois was the one. What big noon?
Yeah,
that was one that was definitely early kick.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, this will be normal for both. It's going to be 12:30 kick there.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's what's coming up this week. I think Florida State plays NC State tonight. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.